Welcome to Spotlight in Business. I am Tammy Defoe, president and founder of GTApreneurs, and have the pleasure of having with me today Mike Ostroff. He is a business consultant among his many services, and he will be the guest speaker at GTApreneurs January 28th business networking event in Vaughan. If you haven't got your ticket yet, do so now. It's going to be a fantastic event with lots of amazing entrepreneurs, including Mike. You get to meet him, experience his presentation where he's going to give us lots of great tips. And before then, let's get to know Mike a little bit more. So thanks for coming on the show today, Mike. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Okay, so tell us more about yourself.
Well, a little bit of personal information. My wife and I have been married for a very long time. We have three grown-up children who are married and all live in the Toronto area. We have 6 grandchildren total. We travel a lot, and we've traveled around the world bringing one of the grandchildren when they're 16 years old. My wife sort of started that program. I used to love playing baseball. Was an amateur when I was younger. And the reason why, and I play a little bit of golf, but the reason why I like baseball is when you hit the ball, somebody throws it back to you. In golf, you hit the ball and you have to go run after it. So I prefer when they throw it back to me.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And how did you become a business consultant?
Well, it's sort of a feed. It sort of developed because I ran a legal services company in Toronto for 25 years, and I had a lot of clients, especially real estate clients. And I saw that a lot of their clients who were small business owners didn't have enough funding or wanted to buy businesses, could get into it. So I moved over to start working on getting small business loans for companies under a great program that the government of Canada has put forward. And that's what I do right now. And in fact, I use all my years of sales and business experience and management experience to mentor small business owners so that they'll not only will they get funds, but they'll be successful. And that's what I'm doing right now. And it's working out really good.
Fantastic. And how did you get into entrepreneurship in general? What was your early experience in?
Well, let me tell you about my friend Jack. It should really be the title of a book, My Friend Jack. Jack and I met when we were both 12 years old. Our parents, his parents, my parents had built houses on the same street in a semi-affluent neighborhood. And he was a business genius, even at the age of 12. He was my, what we would say, my first mentor or business guide. He had this money-making idea that we should sell personalized Christmas and New Year's cards during the summer months, which we did one summer. And we earned $500 net, which was great money back then. He also had this idea when we were 17 to import and sell costume jewelry. So I drove across Canada with a little Volkswagen Beetle selling costume jewelry. Jack, on his own, opened 30 gift shops in the province of Ontario. He franchised them and he became a self-made millionaire. At the age of 20, I opened a small store, I just call it a tourist store, in the old city, selling handcrafted items, soapstone carvings. But after 2 years, I decided I didn't like retail. So I gave the store to the landlord. And then over the next 30 years, I worked in industrial product sales, management. I always wanted to get back to running my own company. I had this urge. So I ran an industrial plastics distribution company for 8 years. Then I sold it for a handsome profit. I handled sales for large companies. You may have heard of ThyssenKrupp. At the time I worked for them, they had income of over 30 billion. It's one of the largest companies in the world. They're now at 41 billion. And as a member of the Society of Plastics Engineers, my knowledge of industrial plastics and its applications were extensive. I set up and ran a legal services company for 25 years in Toronto. I sold it 2 years ago. And I came over to start developing this idea of providing business loans for small business owners. So
Perfect.
the reason I'm
Well,
telling you,
yeah,
yeah,
so that is quite the experience, Mike. That's amazing. I think that makes a good business consultant when you've had, experience in many different industries. I mean, from retail to, real estate and legal, and I think that's really valuable. So what are the actual services that you provide businesses right now, and what are the types of businesses that you help?
well, when a potential client is brought to me, uh, usually by my network, which likes to bring prospective individuals to me, especially real estate agents. If they're going to buy a restaurant or buy a location or whatever, they want their client to be able to get funding. So they bring the client to me. I meet with them for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, no cost, introductory discussions. I get the information, then I give them some ideas. If they retain me, I then prepare a 40-page business plan and a 5-year cash flow forecast, which we submit to one of the banks. It could be any of the main banks. And of course, their credit has to be reasonable. And once they get approved and they get their funding, I stick with them. I just don't say, okay, thank you. I get paid. Goodbye. I mentor them. I help them to run their business, do branding, do sales, and so on. So um, I just don't leave them on their own. And so that's what I do. And I've been successful in the last year or two to get a few businesses started. I'm currently working on 3 applications right now.
Fantastic. Yeah, so primarily so you're doing the business loans, but you're also doing real estate financing as well?
Uh, well, I'm not a mortgage agent, so if they're going to require, let's say, a mortgage on the property, I'll introduce them to a mortgage agent, or the bank that we bring them to might want to give them a mortgage. So, because the bank always looks for a lien on something, they want a lien on the property, a lien on equipment. Uh, that is not my main way that I do business. My main way is really to do the 40-page business plans and get them the loans, because the loans are excellent ways to start a business, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on January 28th, is
Mhm.
really more details on how these loans operate and how it's a great way for people to start a business, especially small business owners or potential that don't know um, the ins and out of business finance in Canada.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I've been running GTApreneurs for 5 years now. And, yeah, a lot of people, they just kind of, maybe use their savings in that and they just kind of do the solopreneurship thing and they just don't know how to expand. So I think it's a fantastic topic for us. And can you tell us some recent success stories of businesses you helped?
Well, there's 2 young individuals. They're 25 years old. They come from India. They've been here for a couple of years. They've been working in the food business, and one was in seafood service kind of business. The other one was in a chicken franchise. They wanted to open their own location. Um, I helped them to get funding. I helped them to get. I actually negotiated a lease for them, a great lease in Etobicoke, where it's affordable because, of course, leases in Toronto are very expensive.
Mhm.
So I helped them. I negotiated the lease. They signed the 5-year lease. I helped them get the equipment to renovate the whole restaurant. And they opened last March. They're running a Mediterranean grill with some, uh, for example, it may be shawarma with some Indian spices or seafood. It's a little bit different than some of the other uh, food franchises. And they're doing well. And I've eaten there a couple of times with my wife. It's great. It's delicious. It's fantastic. So what we plan to do in the next couple of years is perhaps either franchise or license that idea. Uh, the other um, client that I helped was repairing high-end automobiles. and they had renovated a location, and I helped them to get approved so that they would get back the funds that they put in for local improvements, for equipment, for making a tile floor, painting the walls and all that. They got their funds back, which really helped them because they had put in almost all the money that they had. So it was a little bit tough in cash flow. So in this instance, they were able to get the money back. So those are two applications that I'm really pleased that it worked out. Sometimes occasionally we do have a applicant who doesn't meet the credit requirements, or maybe doesn't have, funding themselves, because you do need a little bit of funding for working capital.
Fantastic. Well, look, that sounds great. I'm really excited to hear your presentation. So thank you for coming on the show today, Mike. You have a fantastic day.
Okay, and I will share a lot of my wisdom and my information on January 28th with members of GTApreneur and any guest.
Sounds great. Okay, we'll see you then.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.